Hey, what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and today we're going to talk about how to throw a type 2 ball or a side pocket throw in order to beat a primarily cover 2 type defense. Alright, before we get started here, if you like the information, go ahead and click that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you have any questions or comments or recommendations, go ahead and leave those down below. We'll hop in the video right now. Alright, so here we have a side pocket throw. I decided to do this on Rodgers. I figured it would be best to be able to actually see somebody making this throw in order to really relate. I thought about, should I go to a park and be able to show it that way? But I really think that being able to see it will be the best way to do it. Before we get too much into it, I do want to show you exactly what the different types of balls are. So this would be more of like a type 1 ball you can see on the right, where it's going to be more of like a bullet line drive, right? So you can see how that ball is traveling really, really close to the ground. This is going to be primarily thrown, under 20 yards. There's going to be, bullet. There will be times where you need to throw, a little bit more air underneath it, which will make it more of a type 2, but primarily 20 yards under, you're going to have to throw more of a type 1 type ball. And then it could be probably from like 15 yards to maybe 35, 40 yards is going to be the type 2. So the type 2 is not a bullet, right? But you can see that there's a little bit of a trajectory to it. But at the same time, it's not a super deep ball type 3 ball, which has that high arc to it. I know everybody really knows what a type 3 is. And I think most people are familiar with a type 1, more of like a bullet pass, and then a type 3. But really that type 2 is something that, you really requires a good amount of touch in order to do. And it's something that is not as familiar. And the reason I say that, this is going to be primarily a type 2 beater is because, in that type 2 defense, you have that corner that's going to be underneath, and you're going to have a safety that's going to be up over the top. And so being able to squeeze it in between those two is important to be able to do in order to keep the safety in the corner really at bay, right? So you have to be able to make that side pocket throw to make it so then that safety will get off the hash. If the safety is able to stay on the hash a good amount as your guys are going up the field, that really plays a lot to the advantage of being able to run a cover 2 defense and be able to stop the pass. So you want to be able to throw that side pocket throw, whether even if it's a deep throw or a corner route, anything like that, you want to be able to still make that type of throw. But it's also something that you could use to split the safety. So you can throw it over that middle linebacker right underneath the two safeties. Again, it can't be too high arcing or the safeties will be able to run underneath it, but it also wants to be high enough to make it so it can make it over those middle linebackers. So now we'll go into some of the mechanics of it. The big thing is just going to be the shoulders, right? And so if we look to see the difference between Rodgers here and when he's loading in comparison to on the left here. So you can see how here on the left, he's got that kind of high arch to the shoulders, right? He's not really reaching that ball downwards, which I see a lot of people do when it comes to more of a deep ball. So he has a pretty similar load, just kind of adjust the shoulders a little bit. And then when you're releasing that ball, you want to just release with a little bit more of an upward trajectory in how your overall body mechanics are, right? And so you want to be really getting more verticality there in the movement pattern, where you can see when he's throwing a spiral here, or sorry, a type 1 really bullet type pass here, he's really coming much more horizontal. So he's finishing a lot more forward. He's really allowing that elbow to come all the way forward, that wrist to come way out in front of him as he's delivering that throw. And I do think it's important to be able to still maintain that wrist being on top of the ball when you're releasing the type 2 throw. But as your body momentum goes, you're just going to be a little bit more vertical, and that will help you in being able to just get that ball up and over that outside linebacker. Because I think a lot of people struggle not only in being able to get having the arm strength to get the ball in between the corner and the safety, but also having the touch to be able to get it up over that outside linebacker. And the key thing in that is just being able to get a little bit more vertical in how your body momentum is going. So when you're throwing the ball with more like a deep type of a throw, you can be getting more vertical, but a lot of times people just get too vertical when throwing the ball deep, where really you want to be able to get more horizontal in that movement pattern. And then obviously with the type 1, it's a lot more just pure horizontal or side to side. You're getting all your momentum going forward to try to get the most on it. where when you're throwing that type 2, you really want to be able to get a little bit more of a vertical release going, and that will really help you. As long as you can still come down on the ball, it will still help you in being able to get the right type of trajectory that you need to be able to get it over that outside linebacker, and then it just becomes an arm strength thing and a timing thing, right? When you're throwing this ball, you really want to make sure it's right when the safety gets past when your receiver gets right past that corner. And, that will make it so then you can get it underneath the safety. This is really a well-timed throw because you could see, the safety ended up looking a little bit too much at the slot, which allowed him to be able to complete that ball on the sideline. And you just want to keep him outside, right? You don't want to end up having that throw come too far inside as you make it. And then here's another one. I thought Aaron Rodgers would be good because, I'd be able to find a lot of examples, but really ended up only finding these two that happen to be right back to back. There's another one a little bit longer in the actual play, right? But this is something where, that again, the corner was able to, or the corner let the receiver run by, and he was able to get it right up between those two safeties, which ended up, being a long play. This was a little bit more of like a type 1 ball just because of, how he had to put it on a line. But at the end of the day, it still had that type 2 type trajectory to it, because he had to get it in between the safety. And you can technically throw it up and over that safety, and that will still end up working out. But, I think the big reason to making this video is to be able to show how you can get that kind of slight arc to the ball and being able to master that. And I would say, for quarterbacks that might be struggling with being able to understand this, a big part of it's going to be the repetition of being able to throw that corner route. And just when you're throwing the corner route, make sure that you're not putting too much air underneath it, right? And that's going to be the big thing. The more that you can go and kind of control how much air you're getting on the ball, I think the better off you're going to be in being able to throw those side pocket or corner routes. All right? As always, thanks for watching the videos here. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below. We have a lot of cool things that we offer for quarterbacks to be able to help in their throwing mechanics and developing their shoulder strength, shoulder range of motion, and really understanding of the game. We have Quarterback University. We have you a 3-day free trial down below. We also have a throwing program. We offer you a 7-day free trial down below. We have a free ebook. We have a lot of things that will really help you in developing as a quarterback. So I highly recommend you guys checking that out. And if you guys have any questions, we'd be happy to hear from you. I have all my contact information down below. And really the big thing is I'd recommend you guys getting a breakdown. We don't do anything with that in the trials. If you want to get a breakdown, you do actually have to pay for that, but I think it's a very, very cost-effective thing is you only have to pay one time and can get 10 yards of throwing power, throwing velocity on your throw just with one breakdown. So I highly recommend you guys doing that and really just checking out all the content. I think you can really learn a lot by going in the description and using some of the content that we have down below. All right, as always, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.